Attention, prisoner 903-8970, you're up for parole.
American Arts Radio presents live from Chisel Multimedia Studios, Comics on Parole in Hollywood South. Here's your host, Dan Glazer.
Welcome to Comics on Parole. My name is Dan Glazer, and this is my co-host, Vanessa Hundley. How you doing, Hundley?
I am doing
Vanessa?
well, Glazer.
Right. Hey, we got a really good show. Scott Words from Toy Story and Christmas Story, Kidco, all that, is supposed to call in.
Well.
I'm waiting for him to call in.
We're waiting to see.
Could be any minute
if the
now.
bell tolls.
So, what do you want to talk about 365E news?
At some point, Dan is going to get this all down.
No.
But yes, ladies and
No
gentlemen,
strings
welcome
attached
to,
to it.
yes, yeah. Welcome to 2019. So, yes, we've just wrapped up our 2018 No Strings Attached E-News Online International Film Festival, and we now have the winners posted at www.nsaen.com/online film festival. So you can go on there and see our 2018 winners from our various categories. And also, we now have a deal with E360 TV where you will find exclusive NSAEN content on their Roku and Amazon Fire TV channels. And that we're really, really excited about that because we have, of course, some of our own original content. Various board members of No Strings Attached E-News are involved in a lot of different creative endeavors. And, of course, Brian T. Shirley has some shorts up there. I have a few coming up. Either from archives from the Audio Prism show or brand new content featuring artists and different performers from around Atlanta and beyond. And of course, we're getting ready to, we're already starting the organization for the 2019 Film Festival. And we're really excited this year because not only do we have all of our other fabulous categories to help showcase a lot of different types of film entertainment, but we're also going to be adding music videos this year.
Okay.
Though we are still working out the details on that because, of course, music is a little bit different than movies, but just having that category is going to be really, really exciting because we've had several people that have been producers of really, really good music videos that have reached out to us and said, hey, what if? And so that's a little extra added.
Did I tell you, I hope Scott calls in, but before he calls in, did I tell you my Tiffany Haddish, is it Haddish? Tiffany Haddish story?
I believe it's Haddish.
I was sitting at the Laughing School, and she's in a movie with Kevin Hart.
Tiffany, so sorry.
She's in a movie with Kevin Hart. So I was at the Laughing School, and I was sitting in the green room next to a really nice girl. I said, I'm too old to be doing this. She goes, no, you're not. So we started talking. She said she did open mics in L.A. And I said, well, what brings you here? You go, I'm filming a movie. I said, are you getting paid? She goes, you don't know who I am, do I? So she said, look me up. I said, what's your name? She goes, Tiffany Haddish. I said, how you spell it? And that was her.
And as well versed as he is, apparently not with everybody, but it's hard, in the entertainment industry. There's a lot of people out there, and she's an amazingly talented performer.
Right.
But I know you come across so many amazingly talented performers. We'll forgive you for, the sieve of your
It was
mind.
interesting. Everyone else knew her. Everyone else knew her. But when she came back, I said, I would have recognized if you had your hair down. Her hair was up.
Yes.
That's fine.
As somebody who is often identified by her hair, I can completely sympathize with that because I wear my hair up and people think I'm a completely different person.
Right. Well, I'm not sure if Scott's calling in or not. He did call. I did talk to him. Not talk to him. He texted me Friday. He thought the show was Friday. He said, I'll call in 30 minutes because he wanted to talk about the Comedy Store. Right. That's why I text about to call the Comedy Store. Oh. But let's do this. We're going to have him on anyway.
Yes.
I might call
Scott
him.
by
I don't
proxy.
know.
Scott by proxy.
What happened? He was in L.A. at that time. He said, I'll call in 30 minutes, but I'm going to be... I said, well, it's not till Tuesday. He said, well, I'll be in San Francisco, but it'll probably be fine. So I haven't heard back from him, but we'll still talk about it because we have nothing else to talk about, right?
Well, I mean, I could always find plenty to talk about.
Well, no, we got to go with show because
yes.
But anyway, why don't you put Scotch Words right here?
Yes.
This will be a honor of Scotch Words. There he is. There's Scott. That's Scott all grown up.
I know. It happens to all of us eventually.
He's all grown up.
Yes, he is. Although, you know, I guess there's still a lot of people who...
This is going to be very embarrassing to the 3 fans that watch this show that he hasn't called it. That's okay. Listen, why don't we play the first video? And that's the video of Scott the pole. This is the most iconic scene ever in movie history. Play the video that... There you go.
Flick's spine stiffened, his lips curled in a defiant sneer. There was no going back now.
This is next.
Okay, that is the most iconic. That's more iconic than Scarlet. What is it? Scarlet? I don't give a damn. Scarlet.
Oh, Gone with the Wind.
Frankly, or frankly, Scarlet. I don't give a damn. Right?
Yes.
And also, when Charlton, you're too young to remember, during Planet of the Apes, when Charlton Heston, he couldn't talk.
Oh, yeah.
And finally could talk, and he said, "Get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape." That's just as iconic. Hey, where'd Scott go? That's just as iconic. Thank God no one watches the show, or this would be very embarrassing that he didn't call it. So anyway, but that is a very iconic scene, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Very much so. I mean, even if you've never seen the movie, you know that scene. You've probably seen that scene. You've heard of that scene. Even if you haven't seen that scene specifically, you've probably seen the lamp somewhere during the holiday seasons as a gift. That's
true. Oh, you did see the movie?
Yes.
Did you watch it as your homework?
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad you did. But even if you didn't see the movie, you know what it is because of that scene.
Yes. Oh, yes. Everybody knows about the red radio flyer wagon, right?
Right.
Yep.
So
then the BB gun.
Yeah, it was great. I saw it about 25 times, and it was taking place in Indiana. I'm from Indiana, so it was taking place in Indiana.
So it's a little strike zone. Do you recognize any of the places, or like somewhere else totally different?
No, but someone bought that house. The outside of the house, he's making a fortune. It's a museum now.
Kind of like the Amityville house.
It's actually a museum. So, but really, right, Scott was going to call in was just, I texted, what happened, I heard him in another great interview, and I can't think of who it was that was interviewing him. It was a great interview, and in it he said he worked at the Comedy Store.
Well, what is the Comedy Store exactly?
It's the most iconic comedy. It was a 24, just like IHOP, it was a 24 hours comedy store.
Oh.
And it is legendary. It's 24/7. In fact, Mitzi Shore, she was the one who started, and she died, just passed away.
Oh.
And so let's play a clip of that, the Comedy Store video.
24/7.
Thanks for coming, Scott. Thanks for coming, Scott. I really...
Yes, Scott, that was great. That was wonderful. Thank you so much.
To be a regular performer at the Comedy Store on Sunset Boulevard was to be part of a family, with Mitzi Shore at the helm.
She could spot talent like no one else.
And once she spotted you, there was no going back. Shore launched the careers of many of today's greatest comics.
There was one comedian that really got dejected after about a year of really hard work. And he was going to go back home to Indianapolis and be the weathercaster again. Gee, let me guess. David Letterman.
Yeah, so that was legendary. It was going 24/7.
I was going to say.
And all your big names performed there.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, David Letterman worked there. Now, David Letterman was my local weatherman.
Ah.
He, as a kid.
Everybody starts somewhere. You can usually, go back and find something of many entertainers doing seemingly inconsequential things. But those little things that you do are the things that add up and get you the big things.
Right.
So,
And Jane Pauley, you don't know Jane Pauley. Do you know Jane Pauley?
Yes, I know who
Jane Pauley was our local news lady. And when I was about 15, we would run home to see her. And because she was so pretty.
Oh.
So during the Democratic Convention about 30 years ago, I saw her at a park. I said, we used to just run home to see you. You were so pretty, we ran home to see you. And she said, boy, that was a long time ago. She was pretty. She's probably still is pretty. I haven't seen her in a while. So anyway, but David Letterman, he said it was going to sleet the size of basketballs or something like that, and he got fired. And Mitzi Shore begged him not to leave, because he said, one day you'll be a big talk show host. Hey, where's Scott? Got to put Scott back on.
Oh, I think.
There he is. There's
I think
Scott.
we thought we dismissed him for a second.
No, so anyway, but anyway, you see what happened with David Letterman. He became very big.
Yes.
Very, very big. So anyway, in fact, let's change the picture of Scott. Scott has a dog. Puts this photo with Scott with his dog. There he is. There's Scott with his dog. I'm sure he would like this if he would called in.
This is a great picture. I was gonna say our dog is a little too big to do that by and far, but she still thinks she can fit in your lap, even though she's about 50 pounds. So
I can't figure out what kind of dog that is.
I'm so not good with the breeds, so I'm gonna say it's cute. It's a cute dog, Dan.
Do you think it's a pedigree? No, not really. Okay, but you know, unpedigreed dogs tend to be more intelligent. I have a corgi, a Welsh corgi. You have the full pedigree. It's not as smart, probably, as that dog.
I don't know. I mean, there's
I don't
a
know
lot
his
to
dog's
be said
name.
about the pedigrees, but you know, mutts are, they've got that kind of street smart thing going on. So, what's more valuable, the book smart or the street smart?
That's right. Street smarts are more. So anyway, listen, everyone knows Scott. If you call in, we have more to talk about here. But anyway, everyone knows Scott from A Christmas Story, of course, and you knew him from the Toy Story.
Now, what part did he play in A Toy Story?
He was a kid that went in military school. I really connected with that movie, and his father was Jackie Gleason.
Ah.
And I really connected because when I was 11, 12 years old, I was sent away to military school. Not that I was a bad kid, I just wasn't a good student. When I went to military school as a kid, I became a very good student, though. So when I saw the best 2 years of my childhood, I loved it. Not because of the military part. This was during the Vietnam War, and they made military schools very easy then because they couldn't get kids to go.
Yeah.
So we went to R-rated movies. We played they showed R-rated movies at a military school. I couldn't believe it.
So yeah.
So
kind of free-range parenting in the 70s and 80s. It was kind of the me generation of parents.
Right. So anyway, they just couldn't get anyone to go.
Yeah.
And so we could wear, on the weekends, we could wear regular clothes, but during the week we had to wear military stuff. Let's just show a clip of the Toy Story, the toy video.
Was I bad?
What you were gave a new meaning to the word bad.
He may even find himself a friend.
If you want a friend, you don't buy a friend. You earn a friend.
Richard Pryor, Jackie Gleason, Ned Beatty, and Scott Schwartz in a Richard Donner film, The Toy.
The Toy!
That makes so much more sense now.
Where's Scott? You forgot Scott. Put Scott back up.
And then you said he went to military school. I was kind of sitting there for a second going, I don't really remember that in Toy Story.
Put Scott up with his dog.
I mean, Seth was a bad kid in Toy Story, but
There you go. The Toy. See, that's a good thing about dementia. You meet new people every day.
Hey,
it's not easy getting old, Vanessa. I had my hip replaced a few months ago. After the surgery, the doctor came out and said to my wife, we got good news and we got bad news. The good news is, he said to the good news is the surgery was a complete success. So my wife asked, what's the bad news? I said, he said, the bad news is we replaced the wrong hip, but don't tell your husband, he may not notice. It's not easy getting old. So
that is a far tamer version of a joke that I heard.
But the toy really reminded me of my childhood. And my dad was just like Jackie Gleason. And so I was sent away to military school, best 2 years of my childhood, but I loved my family, but I just got to do more. But anyway, that's iconic. But in this movie, The Toy, Scott developed a very, very close relationship with Richard Pryor. And do you have a picture there with Richard Pryor? A very, very close relationship. Hey, I had a uniform just like that. In fact, I almost brought my hat. But anyway, I used to live in Peoria, Illinois. I went to Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois. And Richard Pryor was the hometown hero.
Does your hat still fit?
No.
Okay.
I was going to bring it tonight, but it doesn't still fit.
It took me back for a second. I was like, okay.
But Peoria, Illinois is where I lived, and he was very close with, he was like a father to him. In fact, speaking of Scott Schwartz's father, I talked to his father once. Scott posted on, call my father as a prank. It was his birthday. So I actually called him and talked to him. Very nice man.
Did he say if he got many calls out of that?
I didn't ask. We talked for quite a while.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, I think he lived in Jersey. He was in an orphanage in Jersey, actually. And we were talking, and it wasn't far. I went to another military school, my first 2 years of military school, in Valley Forge Military Academy in Wayne, Pennsylvania. And I don't know if you ever read the book Catcher in the Rye.
Yes.
The first 15 pages are about that book. That J.D. Salinger.
Connections are always so interesting.
J.D. Salinger. So J.D. Salinger was a recluse up to the day he died.
Yeah.
And he also was a recluse at Valley Forge Military School, because my roommate's father was there when he was there. Of course, no one knew he was going to be a famous author, but he would stay in his room. There was a dorm, and there was a tower up there, and he'd stay in his room all day writing and stuff, and his signature's still up there in the dorm. Not only that, that dorm where J.D. Salinger lived is one of Tom Cruise's first movies called Taps. Now, you remember Taps, Matt?
I do.
Okay, Tom Cruise had a small role, but he was so good they expanded it. He was there shooting up the courtyard, killing everybody. He was going, "Hey man, this is great, man, this is great." That was that dorm.
See Taps, so
it was an okay movie. It wasn't great, but after the movie, I saw on Entertainment Tonight, our commandant went to see that movie, the preview, the red carpet, came out, and he was very angry. The General Pearson. And he said, this was not the movie, the script I was shown. Yeah. What was happening, they were having a hard time getting people to find a military school that would film it, because it didn't make military schools look good. So General Pearson on Entertainment Tonight was very, very upset. But Scott, there's a great interview, and I should have written it down. It was a 2-hour interview. It was a wonderful interview with Scotch Words, really much more in detail than this one, because he's not on the show. I wish I could remember what that podcast, but it was good. It was about 2 hours. And this podcast he was on, he interviews a lot of celebrities. But he was talking about how very, very close he was to Richard Pryor. Very close. I don't think he got as close to Jackie Gleason. I don't think Jackie Gleason was that kind of guy, although what I've read, he was a very nice guy. Yeah. I think he was very professional. But he had a very close relationship with Richard Pryor. In fact, he posted, Scott posted the other day, Richard, it was the anniversary and passing away, and it was a hard day for him. So that same town that Richard Pryor, Peoria, also you'll know who this was, Dan Fogelberg was from that town too. You know Dan Fogelberg?
Yes, I do.
He was from that town too. So they had two heroes.
Yeah, well, I mean, go Peoria.
We had go Peoria.
Yes.
Either you played in Peoria or you played in Muncie, one or the other.
Go Muncie too, I guess. I never actually heard of Muncie. Peoria, I actually have heard of though.
I guess I should have verified with Scott if he was coming on or not.
Wasn't for lack of trying.
But this is showbiz. You know, it's not like anyone really watches the show. So, thank God. So anyway, I should take that back. This show is on Roku TV. Yes, it's on Apple TV.
Yes. And
it's on Fire Stick.
Yes.
So, I don't think it used to be we'd get a couple hundred people tuning in. But
it's different now.
It's different now.
It's a different distribution.
Why is it different like that now?
Well, because we, well, I'm not going to say we, I'm going to say I believe they have just changed the strategy of the distribution versus the platforms that they were using. They're focusing on different ones now. Right. You know, when you change platforms, not everybody that follows you on one platform has access to or is willing to follow you on another platform. So sometimes you're going to carry some of those viewers, but you're also going to have to take a little bit of time to accumulate the new viewers.
Right.
And really put it out in front of enough other people.
Is that true, Matt?
That is true.
Yeah. It's all different now. Like when I used to post a joke, I'd get 200 likes. Now I'm down to -1.
You know, I spend, as a small business owner, and because I can't afford to pay somebody to do everything that I need to do, I spend a lot of time, watching different webinars. There's so much free
information. I don't have time for that. I gotta work. I got a job.
Oh my goodness.
You have a job too, right?
Yeah, I have a business. And yes, I got lots and lots and lots of projects. But it is interesting to notice how, and this is where I've gotten a little I had to step back from social media for a little while, because every time I would sit there and say, okay, here's the new tactic, and I'm going to try this tactic, and we're going to do this, and post it these times, and tag these people, or use these hashtags. Yeah. And then a couple months later, they're just like, and we're going to change it. We're going to change everything. So that it used to be that you could schedule things ahead of time, and you still can technically do this, schedule posts ahead of time, do things like third-party things where you can manage your social media. But now, and the latest things that I've seen is that the social media platforms are actively working on, if you don't go through, say, Facebook and post from Facebook, it's not going to get the same importance when it does post as it would, you know, otherwise.
Is that true, Matt?
That is true.
Okay. I just want to verify what you're telling me. Hey, I do want to post this picture. First of all, no hard feelings that I'm a nothing. I'm a nobody anyway. But I appreciate Scott saying last Friday he would call in. He said, I'll call you in 30 minutes.
Yes.
I said, no, it's the wrong day. So he did possibly say he wouldn't be able to do it.
Him, like,
but I was thinking positive.
I
was thinking positive. But anyway, I do want to post this photo of Jackie Gleason and Scott together. That I remember in the movie, that got a big laugh. Oh, Jackie Gleason's there, and you know how little kids mimic parents? That's what he did. He folded his arm, and I remembered that movie, that part of the movie got a big laugh. I was 25 years old now I'm 61. 25 years old.
We all have those
I wasn't much older than Scott there. But anyway, you can take that down there. But that reminds me, because my father was very much like, I don't know if you ever saw the movie, Jackie Gleason got real old, and Tom Hanks, he was sick, and Tom Hanks quit his job to be with his dad. I remember my brother and I went to see the show, and he said, boy, that reminds me of Dad. Very similar, very similar. Although I love my dad and everything. But that movie reminded me a lot of my childhood. So I do, Scott, I appreciate you bringing your dog in.
Yeah.
Really, what's his name? I still don't know his name.
He's so well trained.
But hey, I do have a text saying he was going to call in. I could show it to you. Oh, can you zoom in on that?
It's like the proof.
No, he really did text. Huh?
Is it his proof?
No one believes anything I say.
Oh.
But anyway, you know, he still could call. We got 4 more minutes. He said, what happened? I texted him. Speakerphone. Okay. I texted him, I messaged him, how come on and talk about the Comedy Store. He said, Dan, how do we do this via phone? Talking about the Comedy Store is always a pleasure and fun. And then I told him, and the speakerphone is fine, so call in 30 minutes. He says, correct? I said, no, it's the wrong night. So I said, how about next Tuesday? He said, okay, I'll be in San Francisco, but that should be fine. So, but he didn't call. No. But that's okay. This is show business.
It is.
Anyway, before we go on, tell me more about, did you want to say something else about Nissan or?
NSAEN. Actually, not at the moment, but you know, we'll definitely be keeping you updated on all the future developments with that. Like I said, we're literally just back in touch with each other after the holidays. But I was going to just run through real quick and just remind people that if you're floating around the ATL area, I am Vanessa Hundley, aka DJ Audio Prism, and I run Audio Prism Entertainment, and we do different you know, fun events all over the city. Normally Wednesday nights you'll find me at Metro Cafe Diner. You'll find other great Audio Prism Entertainment entertainers there throughout the week as well. That's the downtown location. Jessica, it's All Good Williams, who is a great comedian, and she's also become a DJ talent over the last couple weeks. And so she's usually there on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then we have Drew on Fridays and Saturdays, and then I'm also still at G's Midtown on Thursday nights. That's in, you know, of course, Midtown Atlanta. And we just launched a new karaoke show with DJ JJ at McRae's Tavern right here in Smyrna, Georgia. And that's every Thursday from 8 p.m. till 11. And so we've got, you know, different things. I've already got a lot of my recurring gigs on the docket. The only
You're one of the busiest DJs. I'm gonna take a picture so it looks like Scott came on the show.
I know, right? This guy is for real.
You're one of the biggest DJs at You're most of popular DJs in Atlanta.
I work a lot, you know. I do. I work a lot. I've been DJing around Atlanta for 16 years at this point, and I really have started around a lot of places. I will say this past year in December 2018, which is the swan song for the Jingle Mingle. After 15 very successful years, we have decided to go ahead and revamp it and come up with some new ideas and new something for 2019. And so it was.
I get sued for touching this thing. I want to ask a question.
Yes.
Do you have that clip of that guy, that robot comic, still up there?
No.
We do. It was really funny. I wanted to show it the last time. Man, you're opening your own studio.
I have my own home studio now, and I've actually been working with some different people and getting some new interviews.
I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
So we had a film festival, the 360 News Film Festival.
The No Strings Attached.
No Strings Attached. E-News. Yes. And one of the people that is in there has a video there is Haley Livingston, daughter of Barry Livingston from My Three Sons.
Yes.
And it's good. The music, I downloaded the album. It's really good.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Clapback.
Yes. The video
Did you hear it?
is, well, no, not the album yet, but the video that she submitted for the film festival was one that I really, really enjoyed. It was a very introspective kind of, called TikTok.
TikTok, about time.
It was definitely about time, and just really loved her visuals that she put with it. You can actually find it on YouTube. So if you look up Haley Livingston and TikTok, you can watch that. And we're
go to Haley Listen her Facebook.
Looking to follow up,
and you can download her album Clapback.
Yes.
On iTunes and Spotify. Is Spotify? I don't know.
I don't know if you can download it.
I don't even know. I don't even know who the movie stars are anymore today. Oh. I'm not up on that stuff. I don't know what Spotify is. I saw Haley was posting she was doing some kind of remix contest. I said, does that involve martinis, dirty martinis, Grey Goose vodka, and blue cheese olives? I don't know what all this stuff is anymore. I got maybe 10 good years of life yet left.
Well, so 15 maybe.
15. Of course, when someone's 80 today, they're not very old. You know Jerry Farber.
Oh, yes.
He's 80 years old, still traveling.
He's going to be like the Keith Richards of comedy.
Watches 6 months. Do you know he's been doing... I bumped into someone the other day about Jerry Farber. He said, every time I hear Jerry Farber perform, he makes me feel 30 years younger. I said, why is that? He goes, because he's been saying the same jokes for 30 years. Do we have any more time?
Flashback.
Scott, I just want to tell you, your dog is very, I know you love that dog. Yeah. So I had to put a photo up here, Scott, of your Poochie. I don't remember his name, but I know you're very fond of the dog. So I do appreciate you coming on as a photo. It's very, we actually had fun though, didn't we?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's in San Francisco. I'm sure he's very, very busy and having a lot more fun than calling in here. But I do appreciate the text.
Yes, exactly. He's gonna enshrine that forever.
I could not talk much about the Comedy Store because I don't have the history of the Comedy Store on there. I'm going to text him that picture. It's actually a good picture.
Yes.
Look at see, that's a good picture.
Oh, it's a great picture.
Is our time up, Matt?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Is there anything you would like to say, Matt? Hey, would you like to plug your studio?
Go ahead.
I can't plug your studio. You got to come in. No one ever sees you, Matt. Get over here right now. Sit next to Scott.
I can plug his studio.
She'll plug this.
So all right, guys. So this is Chisel Multimedia, which is owned by Matt. Except I forgot your last name, Matt. Roberts. Thank you. I'm good with half the name. But yeah, so Matt Roberts, and they do professional video and, for what I've seen, some audio production as well. Is that correct?
Live streaming.
Live streaming definitely is one of the services that they offer as well. So whether you need a place or a location to come in and do something as illustrious as our Comics on Parole here, or you need maybe you need a demo for your band, there's actually quite a bit of studio space in here, and I think would be a great area to stage some excellent promo shots for a band or an act of any kind. You obviously can see our fabulous background, but there is a green screen background right behind me, and there's some great studio lighting that you can use to your absolute advantage for a
Hey, you know whose photo's going to be on here next week?
Whose?
Tom Cruise. Then the following month it's going to be Brad Pitt. Their photos will be here.
Yeah, we're going to informally not interview them.
No, this was fun. I liked it. I had this plan because he did say there was a chance he couldn't call in.
Right.
But I didn't take it seriously. No. He said it probably will be okay. But you know how San Francisco, it's a wild, crazy place.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the trolley could have been late. You never know.
You never know. Anything can happen.
Exactly.
Anything could happen. I know some good friends of his, too. Jeremy Miller. You know Jeremy from Growing Pains? Real nice guy. I did a comedy thing with Ricky Muse, and Jeremy Miller was the host. And Joni Miller, sweet girl. Very sweet girl. Very sweet people. So anyway, listen, thanks, Scott. Thank you, Scott, for coming on. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank God you were here.
You guys don't know how well you got off this time.
Anyway, thank you for tuning in to Comics on Parole. Tune in another month when Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt's photos will be on this show at the same time. You'll talk to one and I'll talk to the other. They're getting old too. They're in their 50s.
It happens to all
Hey,
of us.
they're making a Tom Cruise, what do you call it? Top Gun.
Top Gun.
And guess what? A friend of mine's daughter, who is in La La Land, Haley Anderson, he's a very close friend of me, Dr. John Hernandez, his daughter was in La La Land, and she almost got a part in Top Gun.
Oh,
she didn't get it. She missed it just by a hair.
It happens.
He told me. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to Comics on Parole. Tune in next month when we have the photo of Tom Cruise and, what's his name? Brad Pitt.
That guy.
We may even have the photo signed. Thank you.